Recording in progress. Recording stopped.
Everybody, welcome everybody. Alrighty, let's go. Y'all, we have a very special guest. I'm so excited. She will be definitely coming on really soon. Thank y'all so much. Welcome everybody to Real Talk Recovery, where we have lived experience and have real conversations. Okay. I want to go ahead and talk about the topic. Okay. The topic is, the episode is Permissions to Speak, Power, Safety, and Truth Telling in Black Communities. Okay. This particular episode, y'all, is designed to center honest conversation, lived experience, and community-rooted leadership. Given your work as CEO of Black Ember Press, author of Permissions to Speak, and her landing service with the police department, I want to go ahead and introduce y'all. And I want to kind of give this like some serious introduction here, because this person has put a lot of work into what they do. Okay. Today, guest is someone who's truly embodied what it means to really stand in truth, leadership, and service. We're honoring and welcoming Rashida Saunders, CEO of Black Ember Press, author of Permissions to Speak, and also Portland Police Bureau officer who has served our community since 2012. Rashida moves at the intersection of storytelling, public service, and community engagement as a Black woman leading a publishing company and working inside of systems of power. She understands both the weight and responsibility of using your voice, okay, especially when silence is expected. Her work centers honesty, accountability, and healing, while challenging us to rethink safety, trust, and what it really means to serve the people. This conversation is going to be very courageous, truth-telling, and giving ourselves permission to speak, even when it's uncomfortable. Please help me to welcome today's guest, Rashida Saunders. Okay, big steppers, we got somebody in here, girl. Rashida, what's up, Rashida?
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And just small correction, the book is Permission to Break, but I also like Permission to Speak too, because it's kind of the same.
Thank you.
But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that's correct.
Permission to Break. My apologies. Yes,
no,
thank you.
No worries.
And that's how I feel when I read a snippet of your book. I was like, oh wow, this is opening me up to be empowered to really start speaking my truth.
Yeah.
Not to just one type of people or one type of group of people, but to just anyone that deserves that particular story from me.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me what inspired you to become a community service officer, a Portland Police Bureau officer? I see that you started like around 2012. How did you embark in that journey to be a police woman?
So awesome. So obviously, growing up in a community that had a lot of gun violence, a lot of drug addiction, in Northeast Portland, actually, where there was a lot of crime, the police presence was there. We had a heavy police presence, especially in the early '90s, and so I would always see them in the neighborhood, and I was always curious because they seemed like they were there to help us. They were there when the bad thing happened, and so in spite of like my upbringing and my family, their idea and their constant to basically tell me to, not be afraid, but also be afraid, right? So I was always torn, but I've always had an interest in serving my community. I just didn't know what capacity. And so I majored in criminal justice in college, and I just wanted to help, and I wanted to put on the uniform. I started in juvenile corrections in Seattle, and then I moved back home and applied to Portland. And this is my city. This is the only city I would police. I feel comfortable here. I feel safe here. And you police a different way when it's your community.
Yeah, I love that. I love the way you police. I see you in the community all the time, all the major functions. It's not always about the bad. You don't show up for just the bad. You show up for the good as well. And to support all communities, and not just only the Black community, but all communities. That's the deepest part about it. I love that.
Thank you.
Before we dive deeper into this podcast, it's going to be a great show. We have some topics we want to go over. Is permission to break. But for this particular podcast, it's more about permission to speak. But the book is permission to break, y'all. So let's just kind of make sure we clear that up. All right. But the topic is permission to speak, owning your voice in systems of power. We also got a topic, Black leadership and the importance of Black-owned publishing. And then community engagement, safety, and trust building. We also have public service with integrity and accountability, and then storytelling, healing, and moving communities forward. This is going to be really good. We do have a group of Big Steppers that has given us questions. It's going to be spontaneous. One of the most beautiful part about this podcast, that is extremely authentic. We are who we are. There's no script, y'all. So let's go ahead and get started, Rashida. So we're going to look at the first question here because we don't go off anything else. I'm going off the questions. That's the whole point of this.
No pressure.
Okay. So the big stepper on the first topic we have, which is permissions to speak, owning your voice in systems of power. First question we have was, what does speaking your truth look like when you're inside systems that weren't built for you?
Ooh, I love that. We're starting off hot. Let's go.
Ooh-wee.
Speaking your truth in systems that you were not necessarily allowed in, wanted in, and even welcomed, right? It requires you to be a different kind of person, and everyone is not built for this. Everyone is not built to be a courageous officer, but it does require you to show up courageous, and it requires you to keep the community first, right? A lot of times it's hard to get distracted when you work with your buddies and you become friends with the coworkers. But I think for me, what has kept me aligned and on track and true to my mission is keeping the community first. Because if my priority is the community, which again includes my family as well, because again, the power of policing in your community, you care a different way, you bring a different level of care and compassion to the community. And so I've never lost sight of what I was there for in my mission. And I do feel like I was put in this career for a reason. It has been tough. It has not been easy, but I think just showing up courageous and keeping the community first.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, because once again, I'm a person in the recovery community, overcame a lot of different hardships, addictions, you name it, grief and trauma. And, we was raised not to really trust the police. But over time, we also learned that police was actually just regular people, just like us. It's just they just got brave enough and was courageous enough to deal with the community in a way that we were afraid to do in our damn self. So there is a level of respect that comes with working with, the police, especially here in Portland. I love the Portland Police Department because they're very respectful and understandable. I like the way they work with us. We rarely see violence in this city because of that model you're saying. So I love that.
And I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people just they think, oh, Portland police are the worst,
No, we got the best police.
You probably have not traveled, because there are places in this country that do not ask questions, that do not care about community service, do not care about working with people with mental health crises. Like we have probably the top training in most agencies in America. So it's, again, I'm proud to work for Portland. Are we perfect? No. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely. Right. But again, we provide a level of care that most people in America do not get.
Exactly. Yeah, we are the example. But, we're in Oregon. So Oregon is the example state anyway. So it all starts here. So as long as it works here, it's going to work everywhere. Exactly. And that's what I love about this. Because I look at police now as like peers in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
They come in, they got that peership, what you call that? They address their people or the community with that peership first. Unless, of course, it depends how you react. Boom. Okay. We know how that works. The cause and effect, right? And so I really appreciate that motto of the peership that comes with our public service as well with our community. So awesome. Good job. Okay. Wow. That's a great question, y'all. We have another one for that one. How do you balance between authentic while still operating professionally in structured environments?
Ooh, I think those are one and the same. I think I have to show up me, right? No matter what career, no matter what uniform I'm wearing. I'm a mom, I'm a daughter, I wear a lot of different hats. So it's just not the uniform. And when I show up in uniform, I'm bringing all of those titles with me. And what I found success in is just being me. No matter what room I'm in, being me. I'm always going to be professional. My interactions with the community are always going to be top tier. Because again, I care, right? I'm going to do my job to the best of my abilities. And I'm a great police officer, right? Like I signed up to hold people accountable. Like I signed up because there were crimes happening in the community that I grew up in. There were people being shot, being harassed, being victimized. And so that is the goal. That's always been the heart, is to keep people safe. And so I think, again, to show up authentically everywhere you go. Yeah. Because I'm a police officer. Me, and I'm always going to be a professional because that's the kind of person I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah,
I love it, and that's the thing. That's the peership. Now, Rashida, we talked earlier, I think a couple of years ago when I see you at the parade. We was marching, we both was marching at the Juneteenth parade. Every year we do this. You go with your group. Yeah. I'm with my group, usually solo, of course, but. You know what I mean? Walking, celebrating recovery as I do. I was talking to you, do you think that the police station may need peers there? When people go in, do you think that there's room for that? Like a lane for actual peers, forensic peers to be in the jails and in the, I don't know, police stations, I guess, or courts?
I think there's room for everyone everywhere, right? I think the community is better when we have those partnerships, when we know who to call. That's how we're stronger. That's how we again, take care of each other. It's through those partnerships. Whether it's grant-based or volunteer-based, I think that's so important. For several years, the Portland Police Bureau has had a crisis response team, right? That was a group of volunteers, community volunteers, that weren't getting paid. And then it was ran by an officer, it was coordinated by the officer. I was that officer for a while, Marcy Jackson and then Victoria Burton. And so that was something that it was that partnership between community members and police. But again, it was community helping community. And that's where we're strongest. So I think everyone has a place everywhere. But I think as long as everyone is staying in their lane, right? Because a lot of times what we see in Portland is we see people that have no law enforcement experience telling law enforcement officers how to do the criminal justice part. Right. And I'm like, your feedback does matter, but you are not the expert. Right. You're not. And to be able to have those conversations, as long as everyone is staying in their lane, I think we can get to a better place. And we definitely need more partnerships in Portland.
Awesome. That's amazing. Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for that. Let's take a quick break, guys, to show some recognition and appreciation for Oregon Health Authority. Oregon Health Authority is at the forefront of lowering and containing costs, improving quality and increasing access to healthcare in order to improve the lifelong health of people in Oregon. OHA is short for Organ Health Authority. Our vision here is a healthy organ. Our mission is to ensuring all people and communities can achieve optimum physical, mental, and social well-being through partnerships, prevention, and access to quality, affordable healthcare. This is somewhere right here, this particular platform. You want to learn more about OHA, Organ Health Authority, go to www.organ.gov. We all about improving lifelong health of people in Oregon, increasing the quality, reliability, and availability of care for all people in Oregon, and lowering and containing costs to make it affordable for everyone. Okay, this is a space where you can get your different public records, public health, different programs. If you want to be certified to become a peer, this would be the space to get certified. All right, if you want to learn more about that, once again, go to www.organ.gov, or you can always email me, mentormissmo. All right, thank you, at Gmail. Thank you. Let's get back to it. All right, the next question we have, we're on topic. Rashida, I see. Rashida's tickled, y'all.
Hey. I'm just trying not to make faces on here. I don't know when the camera's going to be faced at me or not.
Y'all, Rashida is so tickled, y'all, because, first off, let's just keep it real here. Me and Rashida knew each other since we were very little, okay? We were little kids.
Now we're here, okay?
We were at King Elementary School, Martin Luther King Elementary School, and I had bullies, and Rashida would beat up my bullies, y'all, okay? Even I tried my best, but Rashida always been a protector, okay, ever since. And so when I came back after traveling and going through my conquest of life and returning, with my addictions and going through my recovery, and I discovered, Rashida's a police officer. It was not like a no-brainer for me. It was like, oh my God, I'm so shocked. It was not a shocking thing because she's always walked the right lane, y'all. Seriously. She's always walked the line of righteousness, just being authentic herself, a protector. Ain't nobody gonna mess with my family. Nobody gonna mess with my friends. And this is like her role. Okay. And so y'all forgive us if we being goofy, because we've always been goofy growing up. All the good laughter, all the humor. But we also understand how serious this is, because kind of going back, I'm looking at, I read a snippet of your book, Permission to Break. That had me in tears. Just the portion I read, and I did skip through a little. I want to go through it. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to hold no smoke. I'm going to keep it a buck. I didn't read the whole thing, but I'm planning to. But I had to kind of get a little piece of each chapter so I can have a collection. You know how we do it.
Right.
I relate to some of the snippets. Yeah. What encouraged you to write this book? And when did you write this book?
What got me is, again, therapy. It was a suggestion from my therapist and my sorority sister. I was having some issues and not really feeling like that I had people that I could trust to allow them to see me broken. I think for someone like me with my personality, and like you alluded to, I've been kind of this way since young, where I felt the need to protect. I felt the need to step up. I felt that I just needed to be there for everyone. And so when you do have that personality, that's a heavy lift when you never have a break, right? And so for me, I was working for the city. I'm coaching in the community. I'm showing up at every event while being a single mom. It just became too much. The stuff you see every day when you're working patrol, it's a lot. Nobody prepares you for that. You don't realize it hits you until it hits you. And then by then it's too late, right? And so for me, finally locking into therapy, finally getting connected with the right therapist that actually saw me and didn't praise me, right? Because a lot of times you'll go to a therapist and they're like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. I can't believe you've been dealing with all that for so long by yourself. And so for me, to find the right therapist and for her to give me the right activities to get me started so that I could start getting rid of some of the early childhood stuff that I didn't realize was also impacting the way I lived, the way I showed up in relationships, and the way I showed up at work. And so it was heavy. So I got to a place where I broke down, and then I had to build myself up while also trying to show up for the public like I was okay, and not being willing to show my issues to the public, right? I'm like, no, they have to see me together. I got to have my hair done. I got to show up looking like happy and smiling. And so for me, I broke and I hit that wall, and it was hard, and I'm glad I'm still here. But when you hit that wall, you start looking for other places, and then also kept connecting it back to work. I work with a lot of awesome people that are also struggling. 2020 was hard for police officers as well. I know it was hard for the community. It's hard for America. It's hard for everybody on top of a pandemic. Like, we were dealing with a lot of stuff, and nobody knew where we were going to go and how we were going to get out of it. And so a lot of officers are still holding on to a lot of stuff that we have never given ourselves permission to deal with, because with this personality, we have to show up and take care of everybody. And so being broken and then refusing to give up, right?
Wow.
And so I'm still here and happy to be here.
Yeah, I hear you say that, the struggle in 2020. Yeah, I mean, we are now considered the new survivors. We're the leftovers of of all that has happened. And I know that sounds wild, but it's like, oh, did we all forget that we're all in the same situation? It's a new world now.
Yeah.
That's how I have to address it, because now we have a new language called trauma-informed language.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you know, and Ebonics is kind of pushing out. And you know, I'm learning a new language.
We got a lot of things from 2020. I said, oh, person of color, that's what I am now.
Yeah.
Did we agree on that, or did someone else said this is a label, another
label
on people?
Oh, I'm a person of color that's a birthing being? Okay.
Right.
Okay, I'll take
so
that.
Much, and again, I'm like, I don't know if I was in the room where it happened, where I said I want to be identified as a person of color. I'm just black. I'm blackity black, and that's who I am. So at what point did we, as Portland community members, decide this is how we want to be identified? Because it just took over.
Yeah.
And it's like, just be respectful to me. I don't necessarily need a new label. I just want to be treated with respect and dignity.
Exactly.
That doesn't cost you anything. That's not a policy change. That's just a behavior change.
Yes, I agree. I love that. We into the Black leadership and the importance of Black-owned publishing. How does ownership change the way stories are told and perceived?
Ooh, I love that question. And so starting my journey to write a book, I reached out to a few people. I was not getting the love that I had hoped for and the support that I thought I deserved. And so with that frustration, I'm like, you know what? I got this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure this out. And so it was through my journey where I'm like, no, I'm going to write this book, and I want to say what I want to say in it. And I want it to be, I want it to be authentic, and I want it to be me. I don't want to change the words. I don't want to, I want it to be my story.
Yeah.
And so that's the nice part about owning a publishing company or creating a publishing company, is like, I can publish whatever I want. I've had so many community members reach out and say, I've had a book. I've been working on a book. Can you help me? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because again, that's history, right? That's legacy. Yeah. When I'm gone, I would at least have this book to pass on to my daughter to leave in the community, and hopefully leave it a little better than I found it. And so that's the power of being able to publish. It was a long journey for me because I was doing it for the first time, but now I'm like, oh, I got it. It's easy. I got it. So
yeah, I totally agree. I started my publishing company about almost 4 years ago. Okay. Because I was writing, I'm a short story writer.
Okay.
My category is urban gothic romance.
Okay.
So it gets real dark, and so a lot of publishers they wanted me to dim it down, and they wanted me to flip it around, and then so I said, no, I don't want to do that. I want to write an all Ebonics short story.
Right.
It's never been done, right? And so that's
necessary. When it's needed.
That's the freedom of having your own public, because you can write what you want and push it out.
Right.
And it's just up to you how you promote it, right?
Exactly.
I love that. And that's what a lot of people is inspired by, the fact that you have the willpower to start your own, because you don't have to. Because your book is amazing. You could have went through anywhere, and, it could go anywhere it wants to.
I appreciate that.
And to want to help other authors.
Yeah.
That to me is inspiring. I didn't think about anyone else, Rashida. I just thought about myself.
So I just roll in different places, and like you said,
you know what I'm saying?
In this way, I came out of my mom like, how do I help people? How do I serve? What can I do for them?
That's what you do. See,
I love this city. Like, I love I tell people this, I work for Portland, this is my city.
Yeah.
Right? And I care in a different way. Like, I've seen so much harm, so much trauma, but I also see the goodness. I see so many people that have turned their lives around where I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so proud of you. And again, when I see you in the streets, it's all love because I'm like, started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's room for everyone of us at the top if we just support each other. Like, it's Portland is interesting when it comes to supporting.
Woo! We're gonna get into that. I know. It's a trip, right? Okay. And we're gonna get into that for sure. Let's talk about Black Ember Press. Am I saying this right? Because I got speech and I'm Ebonic. That Geechee runs thick, okay?
That's second language. Listen, how do we get you paid for that?
Tell me about this particular publishing company. Like, give me the ins and outs of this.
So the name is near and dear to my heart because it's basically my story, and I kind of compare it to the concrete rose, the rose that grew out of concrete, right? For me, Black Ember is like, it came out of a time when I was at a dark place. And people hear that, they look at me, they're like, you in a dark place? Where? When? How? You look so good on social media. What? You working out? You looking good? You traveling? And that's the scary part, right? Yeah. When I was so closed in and just on fire and just devastated and depressed, right? And drinking a lot and not making good choices. But it was all to myself. Nobody knew. Right. And so that's the title. That's where that comes from, where it's like it's an ember. It's like you hold it in your hand and it will keep you warm. But if you don't let it go,
wow,
the fire could be both good and bad. Right. It can burn you or it can keep you warm. Right. If used correctly. And so for me, I just felt like I had so much fire inside of me that I didn't know what to do with it. And I wasn't necessarily choosing positive choices. And it was kind of like I was in self-destruction mode. And so to be able to fight through that and then share my story with the world and hope that it's going to make somebody make a better choice. Right.
Yeah.
And know that they're not alone in this. Life is hard. Life is so hard and people don't realize it. And most people are hanging on by a thread. It doesn't matter how they appear on social media. Check in with your people because people are not always doing well as they seem.
Exactly.
So check on people.
Yeah.
The publishing company is available. I want to help people get their stories out because a lot of people in our community, once we die, that's it.
Yeah.
It's a rest in peace t-shirt.
Yeah. That's it.
And we're releasing doves. Like, what can we really leave for our kids, for our family, for our community that shows that we were even here?
Yeah.
So that's why the publishing company is near and dear to my heart. The name matters. And hopefully I can get some good books published that don't belong to me.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. Amazing. Let's jump into it. Let's go into the third topic here. Community engagement, safety, and trust building. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. So they got so many questions for this one. It is wild. Okay.
Good. Bring them. And I'll keep my answers short so we can get through all of them.
Okay. Why do you think trust between communities and institutions can be so fragile?
Ooh, I don't even know if trust is fragile. I think trust does not exist. There are certain communities that were raised, were taught, were trained to not trust. And that's on both sides. That's the institutions, the people working in the institutions that are trained to believe certain people behave certain ways and they put people in certain categories. And it's the same for community members where they're like taught to, like I was taught to not trust the police. So the trust was never there in the beginning. Right. Trust has to be earned. And what people don't understand that are not in communities of color is that trust part is so important, but that has to be earned. You don't get that just because you show up to help me.
Ooh.
Treat me with respect and dignity, and you will then earn my trust. But also you have to show up and be authentically you and respectful and courageous and courteous every time. You can't show up and be nice to me, give me a sticker, and then turn around the next day and beat me up.
Yeah. Ooh, my God. Wow. You hit it on the nose, girl. You hit it right there. Because that's just what it is, I remember one time I thought I was safe to pull over, and then I wasn't. And then it was one time when I didn't think I should pull over. Yeah. And I could have. So it's like the trust confuses us. We don't know if we are safe or not sometimes. First off, being a black person pulling your car over. It's the scariest thing in the world.
Right.
No, sirens hit your ass, and that's just it. You know, you don't know what you're dealing with. Well, officer's gonna come out.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a good thing that it's less and less of fear around allowing the law to do their duty, I guess, if that makes sense.
Right, but I think it definitely has to go. Again, I'm working on something that touches on this topic, so I don't want to talk too much. But I do think, again, if the way I'm raising my daughter, and again, people are going to disagree, people are going to have their own bit on. But again, I'm the expert in this. Right.
You're the expert. This is why I'm bringing this up, Rashida. I don't know.
To me or not, I think the way we're bringing up our kids, as far as don't trust the police, don't trust the police, don't trust the police, that causes your anxiety to go from 0 to 100 real quick. Yeah. So no matter what, if I'm doing something wrong, if I'm doing something right, if a police is behind me, I'm like, oh shit, right? I'm afraid, I'm anxious, right? And then you have the flip side, the officer that has no experience or exposure to black people, and now he's only has the way he's been taught to be like, oh, black people are criminals, black people have guns, black people are going to shoot me, they don't like police. So then you have these two groups that are afraid of each other. They are afraid of each other, and they have no trust. And then they meet, guess what? Bad things are going to happen because I'm scared and you scared. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And that's legit fear. That's not made up. It's real. It's real fear. And then you have two people that are scared shitless, and now they have to deal with each other because the police can't leave, and then I'm not allowing you to leave. So we're going to figure this out. And the outcome is rarely good. And so what I've been trying to teach is like that fear, we got to bring it down on both sides, because that is how we are able, that's the only way we're going to be able to move forward. Yeah. And that's a choice thing. That's a behavior modification thing where you're like, okay, I was taught this way about these group of people, but let me give them a chance. Wow. Because when you think about it, how many shootings have we had in Portland? Officer-involved shootings. And then when on the flip side of that community trust and support and care is how many community members have shot other community members. Right. So it's crazy that we teach this fear of police officer shootings, but then we don't address the community violence at all. We don't address that at all. We don't prepare our kids for that at all. Yeah. And that is the rub. And I've seen that for all the years that I've been in this community, before I was a police and after. And that's the part where I'm like, let's talk about that part. Let's talk about that. Ooh, wait, girl, let me tell you something. I'm staying tuned, baby. I'm in there. I gotta stay tuned. Okay? I love what you're saying. I love it because I'm a forensic peer. So on the end of flip of it, in order to be a forensic peer, you have to have experience of going in jail, dealing with probation, I went in probation, past probation. I mean, I did all the works up there, and I passed every level. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a winner when it comes down to dealing with the criminal justice system. Let me say it like that. But not everybody is like me. Right. So there's a lot of bitterness. Right. Also, including the fear, is the bitterness. Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, absolutely. Gosh. So, absolutely. Oof. So let's go ahead. We on the last 10 minutes, y'all, of the Zoom. I'm going to give Rashida a chance to go ahead and promote, because this video will be on YouTube. Real Talk Recov YouTube channel is available for everybody. All that information will be in the description. Rashida, go ahead and promote your book. Where can we find you? All that good stuff in the websites and all that. Absolutely, absolutely. Look, I came prepared. Listen, go check your girl out. Permission to break. That's me, all natural, baby, all natural. Look me up, blackemberpress.com. I'm on social media, Rashida Saunders, Instagram, Facebook. Just started a YouTube channel, so it's new. Not a lot of stuff on there, but Google me. I'm the real deal. I love my community. I'm here to serve, and I just want to make this world a better place. But that's pretty much it. She said, listen, Rashida said, Big Steppers, Rashida said, Google her. She didn't even, look, stop playing with it. Look, pop your collar one time. Look, Rashida, do you have a YouTube channel? I do. It's my first and last name, so Rashida Saunders. Okay, so I'm going to put all that chat. Look, we're going to put all that in the description of the YouTube video. I only got 12 subscribers. I love it. I'm going to also put Rashida's Facebook, y'all, in the details as well. So if you have any questions for her, you go and DM her to get more information and details. Everything is right there on her Facebook. Really, if you wanted a business card, Facebook will be her business card. Okay. Yes, that's the easiest way to get in touch. Yeah, for sure. Thank y'all so much. Rashida, is there anything you want to give, any nugget you want to give to those
out there who is in recovery, in the recovery community?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, stay encouraged. I grew up going to Miracles. My mom was in recovery. I grew up at Miracles. I feel like I know all the steps. Look, God granted me the serenity, okay? And I just want to say, stay encouraged. I think sometimes it's hard when you're on that hamster wheel, right? And you don't know how to get off. You don't know when to get off. And sometimes it's easier to just get back on and keep doing the same thing that you've been doing. But your community needs you. Your kids need you. I've worked with so many parents, so many kids, and they're like, my mom is out, my dad is out. Your kids still love you. They still love you. That love does not go away. They just want you to do better. And I know you can. I know you're capable. So stay encouraged and just one day at a time.
Wow. Y'all heard it first from Rashida. Y'all, thank y'all so much. Let's go ahead and move over. Rashida, let's get over there to the Podbean, okay?
Okay. Perfect.
Thank y'all so much. If y'all want to go ahead and continue this particular interview, you want to hear the whole episode of this particular conversation, this episode is on Podbean, okay? And all that information will be in the description, all right? God bless. All right, so we're going to get on here, guys. Okay, Big Steppers, we still here. We see some, I'm going to go ahead and address some people in the show. Hey, we got D Venom. What's up, D? What's up with it? Shout out to D Venom. All right. Yeah, Rashida's on right now, guys. Rashida, are you on?
I think I am. I can't see the video, but
you are. This is not a video. This is only audio.
Look at me. Okay, now I'm aging myself. That's all right.
It's okay. It's all good. Let's go and take a quick break and show some respect to our Oregon, our state. Oregon.gov. Oregon.gov, which, of course, there's so many different sections of this website, y'all. I love this website. If you are interested in moving into Oregon, okay, this is a great website to go to learn more about different parts of Oregon, what city you would like to live in, what county you're interested in. This is definitely a very family welcoming state. Everyone is welcome in Oregon, okay? And also you can look up jobs. Okay. If you are wanting to live in Oregon, you can find jobs, government jobs, public, safety, education, find schools, in that city. You can completely map out your new life here in Oregon. Okay. If you're someone who works already in Oregon and you are interested in filing for unemployment claims and status, you need help in your small business. You also want to register to vote. Okay, and much, much more different types of research could be done on this website. You can do that anytime. www.oregon.gov. Okay, let's get back to it. Alrighty. So the next question we have here is, actually we on the next topic. Awesome. Public service with integrity and accountability. And we have here, okay, how do you hold yourself accountable in spaces where accountability isn't always enforced?
Oh, yeah, that's about showing up authentic, right? I am who I say I am, right? That's the I guess the good thing about hiring from within the city, right? Because as an officer, we're allowed to do a lot of things, right? Nobody talks about that, right? It's like, no, we're allowed to do a lot of things. And the expectation is that we show up with integrity and behave professionally at all times. Does that happen? No. But for me, that's always been important to me. So I'm going to show up. I'm in the community, right? I'm going to show up at Good in the Hood. I'm going to show up at these events unarmed because I am who I say I am, right? There's no fear when it comes to that. And so I think, again, it's a choice. It's behavior modification. If you love your community, you're going to serve them with compassion and care, and you're going to give them what they deserve, period.
Oh, that's beautiful. How do you stay grounded when public opinion and pressure and all that criticism is pretty heavy out here?
It's hard. In Portland, it's really hard. 2020 was really hard. I had to get off social media. People weren't being nice to your girl. Working downtown, I've never been mistreated. I've never been treated so disrespectfully by community members in Portland. And let me say, they were not Black community members that were mistreating me at all. They were not. And so the majority of our protesters were white people. At least they appeared to be Caucasian. And so, again, being in uniform and being mistreated, name called, things thrown at you. It was a lot. And so for me, I was almost like done with policing in general, just because I had never seen the world and people misbehave in such a way. To actual people. I'm like, you wouldn't treat a dog like this. This is interesting to me.
Wow.
Especially since I've always prided myself on showing up with care. No matter how people treated me, I'm always going to show up and I'm always going to be better. I'm always going to be professional. I'm always going to maintain my emotions, right? Because I'm supposed to be a trained professional. And so I think it's still just a choice, right? People have to show up and be who they are. But again, there's no policies in place that are going to create an officer like me. I just showed up like this.
Yeah, I agree. I love that. Yeah. And that shows me right there that you have real accountability. And speaking of real accountability, me and you, I can say this. Everyone I choose for my podcast, to be honest with you, has to have real accountability, true integrity. Okay. Because that's how I have to walk in my recovery. If I don't, that's what sends me out. The guilt and the shame of being phony and fake is so huge for me. That's my easiest way to go out. So I have to be honest. I have to be real. I have to be transparent in my recovery and with everyone. You know, if I can't deal with hanging with someone or dealing with a crowd or taking on a responsibility or whatever, I have to be honest right there and say, I can't, I won't, I prefer not to do this because of this reason. You know what I mean? I have to for my recovery. And so in this, one of our big steppers says, in a question, the question reads, how do you hold yourself accountable? Oh, no, not that one. Sorry. What's the difference between performative accountability and real accountability? Now, we know we are the real accountability, but a lot of people don't know what real accountability looks like versus what performative accountability. And it seems like these days, Rashida, there's a lot of people in performative accountability. And so they come and deal with, and we get treated. The real accountable people is treated as if we are, I don't know, we're in the back burner. Okay, I don't know what that means, but you know.
Oh, I love that question. That has always been interesting to me with who we choose. And again, I'm just going to speak to Portland because this is the city that I serve. This is the city that I love. This is the city that raised me, right? So in Portland specifically, it's interesting how and who the community members we choose to uphold and uplift and give these positions of power. It's interesting to me that we continue to promote people that have not shown integrity, have not shown the ability to be honest, have not shown the ability to show up authentically, and they're not trustworthy. But these are the people that we applaud, we get behind, we promote, we give them accolades and awards. And it's like, well, what about the people that's been over here, like 10 toes down, right? Since 2012, right? Since 2012, serving in a capacity that most people wouldn't even want, wouldn't even volunteer for. And so I think that's the issue, that Portland has allowed people to show up and we have not questioned them. We've allowed them to have these positions and we have not questioned them. But I will also say that it's on me for not stepping up, right? It's on me for not stepping up sooner. I'm one of those people where I'm comfortable being in the background, right? I'm just going to do my job and I don't want to deal with high level issues. And so I think there's a combination. There's people that are stepping up for opportunities that probably shouldn't be in those positions, but then the people that should be in those positions aren't stepping up. So I think my challenge for the city of Portland is those quiet leaders. Is your time. If you want the city to be better, this is your time to step up. Otherwise, don't complain.
Oh, there it go, right there. And that's exactly what I had to come in. I had to have that conversation with myself. Yeah. The conversation was, well, you know, because of my trauma, I have a speech impediment and I stutter really bad. And, you know, from all the hits to my head, you know, I deal with memory loss and, you know, all that. There's ADHD. I got 12 thoughts running through my head at one time. So I perform at my highest peak. You know, I'm very intelligent. It's just, how do I get all this out at one time? And so I had to learn to slow down and think about this. And I thought about it and I said, well, why should I not start this podcast? And it was you, Rashida. I seen you and you said something to me. You said, well, why don't you just talk about it, Mo? I think maybe I did. I complain. Maybe I did complain.
No, listen.
And you said, well, why don't you talk about it, Mo?
It's like, well, what are you doing about it?
And I said, oh, you're right. I think that was like 2 years ago. I was like, you're right. What am I doing about it? And my excuse was, well, I don't know, because I stutter and I and then, I prayed about it, and God said, listen, everybody have their hiccups. Oh, well, over time, you'll get better. And so that's what inspired me. When he said, well, just talk about it. It don't matter. Just talk about it, Mo. And that's when I started this podcast. That's what gave me the idea of, you know what, let's talk about it. I need to talk. I can't be quiet. I can't be silent any longer. I see too much. I know too much. And I feel like there's a village of us that deserve people like us to stand up and say something. Because there's a lot of phony folks taking positions and being praised. Yeah. And they don't bring no substance. And so, and I'm not to be down, but if the shoe fit, wear it. I don't give a damn. I said it. Said it. Mo said it right here. Don't play.
Right. But let's also take a moment to congratulate you, because again, every moment that I've connected with you, you're always looking out for the community. You're always like, what can I do for this? What can I do for this? Oh, I'm trying to do this. Like, you've always been moving quietly. And so I'm proud of you to watch you every day and watch you just continue to grow and develop as a woman. Like, you're rocking it. So you keep doing you too, right?
Thank you. I appreciate that. See, this is why I love Rashida, y'all. Do y'all see this? This is what I'm dealing with here. This is what I'm working with.
It's not easy to show up consistently and do this and keep yourself accountable. That's not easy.
Yeah, it's not.
Discipline. So
it's a lot of discipline. Oh, thank you so much for saying that. The self-discipline part. Let's talk about that. Self-discipline. Yes. Because it took a lot of self-discipline for you to write your book.
Absolutely.
How did that look? What was the schedule looking like? What was the self-care looking like at that time when you wrote it?
Luckily for me, I have always been a schedule-oriented person, but I think the toughest part is I just didn't want to deal with some of the issues that I wrote about, right? I wanted to bury them under a rug and never look at them again, because that's how trauma works, right? You don't want to look at it every day. You definitely don't want to write about it. You definitely don't want to have to go back and reread it to make edits. And so that was the hardest part. It's like, once it was done, I was like, oh, I'm not sharing this with the world. I'm not telling them my business. I'm not telling them my business.
That's you know what, Rashida, pause for a minute. But that is that false self-belief that was given to us as a kid, because of really people will spread your stuff thin.
Hello.
And so the fear behind that. That makes sense. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Yes, so I did not want to do it, but again, my sorority sisters were like, you did all the hard work and you're here to help people. So it's not just for you. You're not telling your business just for fun to be messy. Right. You're really hoping that it's going to save someone else that may be in a similar situation.
Exactly.
And so they encouraged me, and I did it. And it was hard. I think for me, just looking back and acknowledging some of those issues that I've left buried on purpose. And so the discipline was hard for me, because vulnerability doesn't come easy for me. So writing a book, going to the gym, serving the community, those are easy things. I can do that in my sleep.
Right.
Being vulnerable and being open and honest to myself, that was the hard part. That was the hardest part.
Wow. Amazing. And you did have a therapist and a psychiatrist and maybe a coach. Do you have a career coach or like a mentor or something like that? Like, what do you have? Like, what's your support team looking like?
I try to surround myself with great people. I live in a community full of great people. And if you take the time and you're willing to listen, people are willing to sow into you, to believe in you, and to give you words of wisdom. But again, you got to be ready to listen. Yeah. And so for most of my career, I thought I had it all figured out. So I wasn't really doing a good job listening. Yeah. I thought I was running the city. I thought I had it all figured out. Until I got my role as the crisis response team coordinator, which required me to really lean on the community. And I had some community members show up in some times where I was scared shitless. I was like, wait, you want me to do this death notification to this family that don't like the police by myself? I said, oh no, no. Right? And so I had so many times community members have stood up and stood on business and showed up and was like, no, I got her. She's with me and we good. And we're here to help you. So if you want our help, you better let us in. And so to have those experiences, I know my community loves me. And again, now I'm at a place where I'm listening and I understand that I don't have it all figured out and I don't have to have it all figured out. Ooh. And I got to allow people to help me, because people will help you if you allow them. A lot of times we're standing our own way, blocking the blessing.
Oh my goodness. That is the truth. Yeah, you're right. Because when I finally decided to surrender and let God and allow people to help me, because I thought I could do it on my own, Rashida.
Yes.
I was
Which
dealing
is
with
terrible.
Yeah.
But that's how we were raised. I'm like, I got this. I don't need nobody. I don't need no. I need everybody. Please help me. Please help me.
I need help. Yeah, for real.
Please help me.
Wow, amazing. Let's get down to the topic. We're on our last topic, Rashida.
Okay.
Storytelling, healing, and moving communities forward. Okay. This is really good. Let's see.
Love it.
Okay, let's do this. Why is storytelling such a powerful tool for healing individuals and communities? Which we kind of talked about it, but hearing your side of it sounds really great.
I love it. So I'm Black. This is the culture. This is my lens. And so for me, growing up, storytelling was how we got things done. Right?
Yeah.
That's if we look back historically, storytelling was how rules were passed down, right? That's how you were raised, through stories. It's like, don't do this because one time it happened to this person and then this will happen. And so what I'm seeing in our community is kind of some of those wives' tales, some of those things that we were told were wrong, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if we don't go back and correct those things, then they're going to become a part of our lives and the part of my daughter's lives and her kids, and we're going to continue to pass that down, right? They're not telling my business, it's family business. Whatever happens in the house stays in this house. All those things are terrible, right? If I can't talk about it, how am I going to heal from this? And so, one, giving people permission to tell their story. It's your story. You're allowed. When I wrote my book, I wasn't sure how my mom was going to receive it. I was raised to not tell our business. And we had lots of conversations before, but she's old school. She's from Louisiana. She don't play that. Don't tell my business and don't put me in no book. Right. But I said, this is not for you. This is for me. This is for my health. Right. This is for me. So either you support me or you don't. And so being able to, one, be courageous, not in just law enforcement community, but being courageous within your family. I think Black communities, we have a lot of conversations that go unsaid because of fear, right? We have kids that are being abused, right? We have women that are being abused. We have so many dark secrets that we fail to talk about because, one, we weren't given permission. It's taboo. And then we don't know how to proceed. We don't know how to walk through those steps. And then our families will sometimes turn on us. So again, as far as community healing, there's a lot of healing that needs to be done. And again, through writing and storytelling, this is one opportunity. I'm not saying it's the only way, but it was the way for me. And I think it was the way of our ancestors.
Oh, amazing. You know what? And I hear something. You said that. You said all those different types of things that we had to deprogram from. And then we had to reprogram in our adulthoods. And I want to add in something, not only does the family turn against you, but you also got colorism in the Black community that we have to deal with.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a lot of people don't want to talk about the colorism.
Yeah.
And how out of hand it can get. And then all the trauma that comes behind that. And that goes for both sides. It doesn't matter what melanated person there is. They have some experience in being colorized. I don't know if that's the right term, but you know what I'm trying to say.
But we get what you're saying.
Yeah. And we all got to just kind of hold each other accountable once again. I love that. And I had to deprogram my thinking as well as being just who I am in the recovery community. Can you relate to the recovery community? In what way can you relate? To interacting with the recovery community?
Absolutely. Like I said, my mom was an alcohol and drug counselor for most of her career. She worked at, I can't say the names, it's all right. Right. Yeah, so I'm very well aware. My dad struggled with some drug addiction issues. And if I'm being honest, most of my family members, hell, including myself, not drugs, but, I drank a lot.
Right.
And so absolutely, in terms of recovery, what I don't like is separating people into groups, right? I think we're all human and we're all dealing with something. And most of us have some kind of addictive personality, addictive something. We have a thing. This is what I tell people. Everyone has a thing, right? It doesn't matter what that thing is.
I love that.
If you're overusing it and abusing it, it's too much, right? There's people that work out too many times a day, right? They're taking steroids. That is problematic. Right? Yes. When you're having a heart attack at 40 years old. So there's a lot of things that we do in the community to self-medicate, or we do it in excess. And so I can relate to everybody because, again, once you break it down and you remove the label, we are all the same.
Ooh,
right?
I love that.
Right? We are all the same. Look, I may not be using meth, but if I'm drinking just the same amount, right?
Yeah.
It's still problematic. It's impacting your life. It's impacting your health, right? And most likely the relationships and the people you care the most about. And so if any of your behaviors are impacting the people you love the most, that's a problem. We got to address it.
Wow.
So I can relate. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. That just really just warmed my heart, because a lot of people hear that recovery word and it scares the daylights out of them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like recovery is so broad and so round, and it's one size fit. It is not a one size fit all. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it is a one size fit all. It's whatever you make it. You know, we could recover just from grief.
Hello.
Grief itself could be, you know, you could never use not 1 ounce of, not 1 drop of alcohol or anything else, but you had you got bitterness in your heart.
Right.
And so that to me could be helped in recovery.
Yeah.
And so thank you for that, Rashida, because you broke that thing all the way down, girl.
I tried.
Okay. I'm so excited. Well, you know, it's the end of the show, guys, and I really appreciate everything, all the listeners that is tuned in from Facebook to Podbean, as well as YouTube, and so forth. Rashida, let's go ahead and get all the information out. How can we find you? What's your websites? What's going on? Give us the deal.
Easy peasy. Find me, Rashida Saunders, both on Instagram, Facebook, also YouTube, Rashida Saunders. Super simple, super basic. That is my real government name, no nickname. And also blackemberpress.com. Look me up. A lot of services are offered, but definitely just appreciate the support, because I'm going to be here. I'm going to continue to show up authentically. So follow me.
Yes, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Y'all, Rashida, thank you so much for coming into Real Talk Recovery. Y'all, I am your host, Miss Mo. And, you know, this is all about being authentic. This is about talking about our lived experience and having real conversation. Stay tuned for the next episode, guys. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much. See you later, Rashida. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Y'all, if y'all want to be, if you want to learn more about what I'm doing, if you want to start your own podcast, if you want to understand how the system works, you can always contact me. Okay. If you have any questions, any feedback, if you are a mentor, you want to teach me a few things. Okay. I'm open for I'm very coachable. I'm open to learn more, and I am open to, into taking suggestions. Please email me. Realtalkrecovery@gmail.com. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.